looking forward to doing this video for a really long time actually, and that's mainly because this is one of my most favourite albums ever. So hello and yes, welcome back to a video everyone. Now then, today I'm going over one of my most favourite albums. This is going to be an epic review, and I've really got to try not to ramble because I could go on and on and on for hours about this album. And I really wanted to do a special album today. I wanted to do an album which I love, one which I can talk so highly about, mainly because I have something really cool to unveil at the end. I've got a really new cool idea for my reviews, which I will bring up in at the end, which of course involves the ranking of the album and whatnot. But anyway, until we get to the end of the video, it is going to be a pretty normal album review this, so I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the album. We're going to go over each track individually. We're going to mark each track individually out of 10. I'm going to show you my copy of the vinyl record. And then we're going to add up all of the scores which I've given each of the tracks up, divided by the total number of tracks on the album, and then it will give us our final overall marking out of 10. And then we can do my new kind of unveil thing. But anyway, until then, yeah, let's get started. So anyway, of course we are talking about Derek and the Dominos Layla and other assorted love songs. You know, it's just a magnificent album, this really. I am going to have to really try not to be too biased. Well, I wouldn't say my opinion is biased. I just generally love this record. This is generally an amazing record. And then people who visit my channel a lot know I'm a very big Eric Clapton fan. You know, he is probably my favourite musician. He's up there with, you know, all the other greats in my mind. He is one of the most talented musicians on the planet. Probably my favourite guitarist. Excellent vocalist, you know, fantastic singer. And, you know, the guy's amazing. And actually, I just want to take a moment here to show off my new poster. Look at that bad boy. Amazing poster. And if you look up just up here as well, we've got a picture disc. So hopefully that proved my point that I'm a very big fan of this album and, of course, Mr. Clapton. So it's going to be an interesting video, and I've really got to try not to ramble because, as I say, I could go on for ages about this record. So anyway, let's get started with the information on this album. So, of course, this album here was formed by Eric Clapton and Bobby Whitelock after, of course, Eric Clapton had left Cream and Blind Faith had already... that had already kind of got blown over after their one album. And, of course, this album here is really looked at as an Eric Clapton album. It really is. Some people say it's one of his best achievements. And I agree with that. I really do. However, I do... When I talk about Eric Clapton like that, I always try to push his solo albums into it enough, because I think people give Cream, Derek and the Dominos, Blind Faith, Blues Breakers, Yardbirds a lot more attention than what his actual solo career gets. And he has some fantastic solo albums, especially in his later years, in my opinion. So I always try to push them in, but yes, I do agree, this is one of his best albums, best achievements. And but of course it is still a team effort. There is still a band here. So as I say, you've got Bobby Whitelock, and of course we have Jim Gordon on the drums, who's a fantastic drummer. Ever since I've been kind of dissecting this album, getting ready for my review, I've really had to look into him a bit, because he's a fantastic drummer, and you really hear it on this album. Then we got Carl Radle, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, on the bass. And then Dwayne, I can't even read my own writing here, Allman on the slide guitar. But he only appears on 11 of the 14 tracks. And he isn't looked at as the lead guitarist, that is still Clapton. He just does the really cool slide bits that you hear in the really good jamming session. Kind of sounds a bit like a George Harrison kind of style on the guitar. So really good. You've got amazing band there, great lineup, two fantastic vocalists, one of which, Mr. Clapton, is one of the best guitarists ever. Fantastic slide guitarists, the bassist is pretty good, and the drummer, you know, is just amazing. Jim Gordon, we're going to have to come back to him because he's amazing. I hope that's his surname, because I'm just reading my writing, maybe it's Corden, but... I'm not going to lie, I'm using notes because I can't remember all of this off the top of my head, and I can't even read my own writing. That's not a good start. If not Jim Gordon, well, hey, that's Batman's agent. But anyway, this album here was released on the 9th of November 1970, And chart positions, I couldn't find the chart positions, but I know the album did do, I know it didn't hit #1, it wasn't a huge boom, instant sellout album. But, you know, I think it was more or less the singles which had the big impact in the charts. And, well, maybe not massive impact, but they are definitely remembered to this day, the 2 lead singles of this album. Of course, we all know one of them on here. So anyway, other than that, now we're going to get started on the tracks. So as I say, there's 14 tracks on here. It is a double vinyl. So when you hear 14 tracks, you don't really expect that to be on a double vinyl. But the one thing which people need to know about Derek and the Dominos is it does have some classic rock sounding songs on. It also has some very blues sounding songs on here. This is, you've got half the tracks on here which could go on a classic rock album in my mind. And the other half could go on a nice, long, jamming blues album. And I think when people listen to this album, you have to sit back and be prepared to hear some long, drawn-out songs, because they really are jamming songs. And I love that. I really do. See, with music, I can listen to short little duddles. You know, talking of blues musicians, J.J. Cale, another fantastic blues guitarist and singer. His songs are all about 2 minutes long each. I can listen to short songs and enjoy the hell out of them. But then there's other tracks, like on this album, like Key to the Highway. You know, that's, what, nearly 10 minutes long. That's 9 minutes, 40 seconds long. But I could sit there and listen to that one in its entirety and get so much entertainment out of it. So it's just kind of sitting back and, you know, kind of putting yourself in the feeling, okay, I want to hear a jamming album. So I think this album is one of the best ways to go for an album like that. Voice is already going. Not a good start. But anyway, let's get started. So then the first track up, I Looked Away. Nice, shorter, kind of does have a bit of a classic rock kind of sound to it. Calm, rocking track to open us up with. Fantastic vocals from Clapton. You can really hear him his vocals trying to break in the chorus here, but he manages it so well. It comes through beautifully. The drumming on this one is great. There's some guitar work at the end which is fantastic. Not the best guitar work on this song, you know, lead guitar from Clapton. Because it really is just a nice short song just to get us all hooked. And it really does that perfectly. It's an amazing song and the lyrics are just incredible. I Looked Away. It's kind of like he's singing about how, of course, he messed up a bit, missed Pattie Boyd, George Harrison's wife. When, of course, first time, you know, they were at a party together, her and Eric. And George comes up to them. Of course, you know, seeing his wife with Eric. And George had kind of already got the hint, okay, them two have kind of fallen in love. So George just walks up to him. He's gone, well, are you coming home with me, Pattie, or are you going to stay with him? And first time, Pattie did go home with George. But then, of course, as we all know, in later years, Pattie did end up falling in love with Eric Clapton, and them two, of course, went off together. But anyway, this song here, of course, is written more or less about when Pattie walked away. You know, I looked away, then she ran away from me, you know. So he's saying I'm such a lonely man. So he's kind of singing about how he got left behind a bit there. But, of course, you know, luckily for Clapton, he did end up with her in the end, leaving poor George on his own. But, of course, good news for George. He found a nice second wife, and, you know, both happily ever after, really. Even though Eric, of course, did divorce Pattie and end up with a third wife. But then it was, you know, eventually it was all happy ever after, we'll say, for Eric. Eventually. Took his time a bit. But anyway, so it's a really good lyric song. It's just a great song. Easy listening. I can't knock it. It's a 10 out of 10 song. Loved it. The next track up, of course, is the second single of the album, and it was also put on the B-side to the lead single, Bell Bottom Blues. Now, this is not the Bell Bottom Blues, which some people know. Of course, there's another really famous Bell Bottom Blues song, not that one. But this one here is a fantastic song. It's actually even slower, but it uses a lot more bass, this one, instead of acoustic guitar. And it's, again, another one about Pattie Boyd. It's all about Eric's unrequited love for her. And it's just a nice slow song, great bass. It builds up for the chorus so well, and it's just a fun song. Again, Eric's vocals are amazing, and this is where you see Clapton's guitar skills being amazing for the first time on this album. And to be honest, I found during Cream, he was much more of a heavy rocker on the guitar, whereas here he goes a lot more blues. And I think this album, especially this song, this is the first time we really hear what is to come with Clapton. This is where we hear the first hints of Clapton becoming this amazing blues guitarist. So fantastic. And again, it's just an amazing record. I can't knock it. It's just incredible. Second 10 out of 10 track on the album. And then of course we get the track Keep On Growing. Now this is the first kind of long jamming session track. So it's a faster, more rocking jam song. Has an amazing chorus in it, which is just addictive. It's just addictive to listen to. It keeps, every time I hear it, I keep replaying it in my mind again and again and again. And it's like, what a cool song. You know, it's just incredible. The vocals are just, you know, they're shared between Clapton and then they go to Bobby. It's like back and forth, back and forward. Sounds fantastic. Clapton does the chorus mainly and Bobby does the other parts though. But the guitar in this one, oh my god, I could sit there for hours listening to it, I swear. It is that good. So again, you know, I can't knock it. Another 10 out of 10 track on the album. The song is perfect. Loved it. It's just, you know, this is a good example. This is probably one of the best examples of these long jamming sessions. If they do it well, if you can hear the band enjoying it, you enjoy it too. Perfect combination. Amazing track. Love it to bits. And of course we get a very, very famous song covered here. Nobody Loves You When You're Down and Out. Come on, everyone knows that song. Very old song now. Originally written by Jimmy Cox in 1923. So quite an old song. Always looked at as one of them kind of American songbook jazzy songs. So it was really good to hear Eric take it. Because Eric, you know, he loves them old kind of songs. Which you can really hear actually. Just going to grab this album. If you hear his 2010 album, which is self-titled Clapton, you can hear him doing all these fantastic old songs like Rocking Chair, River Runs Deep, Judgment Day, How Deep Is the Ocean, My Very Good Friend the Milkman. You know, all these kind of classic old, you know, early 1900 songs, which just sound fantastic with a modern feel. And of course, you know, this is from the 1970s. This album here is getting on a bit now. But the point that I'm making is that he's tried to make it in his own bluesy kind of style again. And again, he does a fantastic job of that. Clapton really just puts in a raw vocal performance. And the song itself just sounds like more of a classic rock kind of version now. But, you know, you can really hear how raw it is in the vocals, which I love. I think it sounds fantastic. And, you know, great guitar work on it. So, fantastic. However, it is a bit of a step down from them other three tracks before. You know, the flow of the album, this is, you know, it just takes us down a little bit. So I'm not going to give this one a perfect score of a 10 because, as I say, it takes us down a little bit of a bump in the road on this album. But I am going to give it a 9 out of 10 because it is a great song. Oh, jeez, I'm going to have to keep having a drink here. My voice is just going. 10 minutes in and we've only done the first side of the first record. Jeez, we better hurry up. Okay, so then opening up side 2 of the first record, I Am Yours. Really nice, slower song here again. But really great vocal performance and lyrics on here. And the guitar work as well is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I think that mainly the guitar work at the end saved this song a bit. It just sounded incredible, incredible. So I'm going to give this track here a 9 out of 10. The next track up, Any Day, Any Day. Oh, we are back to amazing. One of the best vocal performances from Clapton, easily hands down on this album. And the chorus, again, is just amazing. Just the vocal performance, the lyrics behind it. It really is just an incredible, incredible song. One which I can't recommend enough for people to go check out because it has everything, this song. Great guitar work, great lyrics, great vocals, amazing catchy blues chorus, and then a nice jamming kind of bit at the end. So I'm easily another 10. Another 10. And then we get the track Key to the Highway, which is again another cover song. And this is the one which is nearly 10 minutes long, precisely 9 minutes 40 seconds long. And it's really cool because Clapton has always loved this song. He always does this live, but he actually revisited it with the one and only Mr. B.B. King on his Riding with the King album from '99. And I gotta say, I do prefer that version. I do prefer that version, but this one is still amazing, yeah. Again, it is just a jamming song. It's incredible. I mean, the only problem which I have with this one. As I say, I can sit there and listen to Clapton play forever. But 9 minutes 40 seconds, there are times in this where the song just kind of lose you a bit, and it's like, I'm still enjoying it, but I think I'm getting ready to move on, if you guys know what I mean. So that's the only fault I have with this one. Again, you know, sometimes I could sit there and listen to songs for a good, you know, if you get the Derek and the Dominos live, some of the tracks on there are like 16 to 20 minutes long. They are still fantastic. I can listen to the whole thing and enjoy it. But, you know, it just depends what song it is. And this one here, you know, you get about 7.5 minutes into it, and then you're kind of getting ready to end it. You're like, okay, let's wrap it up. So maybe that's my only fault with this one. But other than that, you know, the actual line key to the highway, the chorus is just incredible. Sounds fantastic. So I want to give it a 10, but I don't think I can, just because of, you know, what I said. But I want to give it as close to a 10 as I can get it. So it's going to be a 9 out of 10 for that one. Then we're on to the second record here, and it opens up with the track Tell the Truth. Yeah, it's a really funny start, actually, this one. I bloody love it. You know, you hear dun 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 dun, and then Eric and Bobby go, oi! Which is kind of cool, a bit unique, really, if you think about it. Because I know a lot of bands done silly intros like that. You know, you get bands like the Specials and Madness who ended up doing that kind of thing. But that was more in the late 70s and in the 80s, so kind of unique at the start of a song there, especially since this is looked at as a classic rock kind of blues album. So it's like very unique for an album of that stature. So really cool start there. And of course, you know, I just can't talk highly enough of this song again, because this one here is just amazing. You know, the guitar work on it is amazing. Sounds fantastic. Clapton's vocals are brilliant. And a funny fact about this song, actually, this one was actually first recorded during the sessions for All Things Must Pass, George Harrison's debut solo album. And I don't know if they were recording it to... Eric was saying, hey, do you want to do this song on your album? And whether George said, no, fine, you take that one for whatever you're planning to do next. So I don't know whether it was originally going to be on George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, but boy, I'm pleased they left it for this album, because it turned out fantastic. Again, no surprise. 10 out of 10. Can you guys tell how much I like this album yet? I mean, like, half the tracks are getting 10s. So anyway, now we move on to another brilliant, flawless track. Why Does Love Gotta Be So Sad? Oh my god. This is very fun track, you know, really lively song. It's very quick. You know, it's like the last track, you know, you had this kind of slow, mellow feel to it. It's dun 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 dun. You know, and you know, we've had some kind of slower tracks on the album. Whereas Why's Love Gotta Be So Sad? It's like do 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 do. You know, it's going super fast, this one, compared to other tracks on the album. I mean, some people probably listen to this with, you know, and they'd probably go, well, it's not super fast. But for this album, it's really fast. So, fantastic song. Just love it. Great guitar work on it. 10 out of 10. Oh, the big shocker. And then Have You Ever Loved a Woman is the next track. This is another cover song. And this is the, I'd probably say the only track on the album which is kind of the weak link. I still like it. It's still a very good song. Don't get me wrong. Really, really enjoy listening to it whenever I hear it. But just compared to all the other 13 tracks on the album, it's like, it's my least favourite. But it, again, still brilliant guitar playing on it, brilliant vocals, and it's just another good blues song with a nice jamming session at the end there. So that song was going to get an 8 out of 10. So the next track up is Little Wing. And this is actually a Jimi Hendrix song originally. And you know, Jimi Hendrix is one of those artists, kind of like John Lennon, Michael Jackson, David Bowie. You just hold them to this huge stature. They are in a league of their own. And he really is. He's one of the most unique musicians ever. But then again, I'd also put Clapton in that category. Really unique, fantastic sounding musician. So it's kind of like whenever you touch one of their songs, you have to be very, very careful about how you handle it. They handled it very, very well on this album. It's a very good song. They've got the guitar work just on. Well, Clapton, I mean, come on, of course he's going to get it right. And the drums, this is where the drums really stand out on this track. You know, they use bongo drums on it, and it just sounds, oh, it just sounds fantastic. So, again, really do like the song. But it's a cover, and it's, you know, I've heard Jimi Hendrix version, and I'm not going to say whose I prefer, because Jimi Hendrix is brilliant, but then I love this album to bits. It's so good. So I'll say an 8 out of 10 on this album, on this track, this album. Of course it's going to get more than an 8. Next track up, It's Too Late. This is originally a Chuck Willis song, so another cover here. Nice, slower song, great vocals from Clapton again. And yeah, again, I love how the song kind of breaks itself up. All of a sudden it'll go slow and it'll pick up again. So it's got really nice kind of breaks between it. So again, another really good song. And I'm going to give that one a 9 out of 10. Next track up, 10 out of 10, Layla. What can I say? We all know the story behind Layla. Of course, written for George Harrison's wife again, you know. And it was just a nice heavy rocker, iconic guitar song. I really don't know what to say about it, because it is one of the most famous songs ever, one of the most loved songs ever. I'm done with that one. 10 out of 10. And literally, look, I'm not kidding. My notes, this is what I literally just put under that track. Amazing. What more can you say about that song? I mean, come on. Okay, so the last track up is just, this is simply one of Bobby's songs. It's Thorn Tree in the Garden. It's just him on acoustic. Vocals are a little bit crackly, but other than that, amazing. Really like it. Just, you know, just a little bit short for me, I think, on this album. Because everything on this album, of course, is known to be like long, blown out blues stuff, which I really like. That's what I get in the mood for. And then this one's a little bit short, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. But anyway, now, of course, I do want to mark the artwork out of 10 as well. And then I'm going to divide it by 15, because, you know, 14 tracks, and then I'm going to give the artwork a mark. So here is the album cover, which I absolutely adore. It's amazing. Here's the back cover, really cool. And then this is my new pressing on Back to Black. So I haven't taken it out the shrink. So what I'm going to have to do is pull my original copy down here and show you the gatefold in that. I have my picture disc here, of course. The second one of my picture disc is in the frame, of course. So but I'll open up this one. This is actually a US pressing, this one. The gatefold is just really kind of good to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of slowly scan this across the camera. And one of the things that you're probably going to notice, or if you didn't, I'm going to point them out anyway, because it's really kind of funny. If I point to it, you can, there's lots of really nice sweaty armpit pictures in here. Oh look, there's another one, there's another one. So it's a really kind of funny gatefold to look at, but the artwork's going to get a 10, because I love all the pictures, the back cover is awesome, the front cover is awesome, I love it. But I have to say one thing about the album, or the design of the album on the new vinyl release. So this is called Derek and the Dominos, Layla, and Other Assorted Love Songs. Okay. Even the repressing on Back to Black says that. And Other Assorted Love Songs, yeah? And I was reading the spine earlier, just to get my spelling right. And on Assorted, and the spine actually reads Layla and Other Love Stories. So I was trying to debate what's the actual title here. I was always certain it was Assorted Love Songs. I looked on the spine of this one, it just has Layla written there. So I checked online, and of course Wikipedia lists it as Other Assorted Love Songs as well. So I was like, it's got to be that, really. And of course I have the CD here from the Eric Clapton reissues, and as you can see there, most people do class this as an Eric Clapton album now. And then of course I have the live album here, which is also worth checking out because it is brilliant. Okay, so then now what I'm going to do, really exciting, I've added up all the scores that I've given it, all 15, divided it by 15, it's given me the total mark of a 9.4. But now here's the really cool bit. I'm going to show you something which I made this. It's really nothing, but I'm really excited about what I'm going to be doing with it. So, here we go. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is what I'm calling the album ranking board. And in every album review I do now, whenever I give it a mark out of 10, they will end up with a slip on this board. Now I'm only doing this since I rebooted my album review, so at the minute there is only 4 albums on here. We've got Eric Clapton's Back Home at the top here with a 9.2, and we go down to Lindsey Buckingham's Go Insane here at 7.1, and then here at 6.3 we've got George Harrison's 33 and a Third, and coming down with a 5.7 we got Phil Collins' Face Value. So as you can see, kind of got the 9 section here, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, blah blah blah. You guys get it, you get the gist. So anyway, of course, back on the Dominos Layla and other assorted love songs here with a 9.4. So this one's actually going to go in right at the top here. So we get that down. There we go. It's like Top Gear. It's like I'm turning it into Top Gear. But anyway, so there we go. That's the new album ranking board there. And of course, in every album review that I do now, of course, I will be keeping up to date. And every album that I review is going to end up on the board. So there we are. We got a close-up of it there, just so you guys can see it in more detail. I'm going to bring us down here. We've got Lindsey Buckingham Go Insane there. And there's the bottom. And of course, eventually I'm sure there'll be a couple which make the bottom of the list. But anyway, that's how the board's looking now. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you like what I'm doing with my album reviews now. So I'm going to continue with that all the way on now. Every album review I do, that they will end up with a tag on that board. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like the video, please subscribe, and please leave a message. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys later. Bye.